everybody, welcome back. Unboxing time. Mary's here.
Hello.
Let's see if I did the thing. And we're here to open up the, oh God, oh boy. What am I, it's July. So this should be June. June 2020 Horror Pack. Where now we open the movies and review them. Or I review most of them, but Mary reviewed one last time. Maybe there's be one per box she'll be into. I think that'd be pretty cool. Maybe,
we'll see.
But if you want to check out...
What did I watch last time?
Bloodsucking Bastards.
Oh, that's right.
I know it's been a while since we filmed all that. So if you want to check out Horror Pack, I have a link in the description below. It may get you some kind of discount or something. Welcome to the new house. I don't know what order these videos are coming out in. This is the second one we filmed. We just paused. We ate delicious pizza. And I had like a movie collection of 7,000 titles, but now I have like a couple hundred here. I'm still splitting with Pops. I gotta build up the media room. Oh, that's gonna be a chore.
You okay?
Yeah, I should have waited to digest. So it's gonna be 4 Blu Rays. You can also pick DVDs. Apparently different countries get some different things too. Like last time, we got Exorcist 3. Outside of the US, they got the ABCs of Death. So that's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, we do the Blu Ray pack. It's like $20 a month. It's literally $20 a month. That includes shipping. I know because I just looked because I was actually looking to change a different box. More on that later. So it's a great deal, especially if you don't have a big movie collection. Now, obviously, a lot of times they send me stuff I have, but somehow, and the reason I mentioned the 7,000 titles is somehow they still manage to send me tons of stuff I don't have. Yeah. And a lot of times it's really good. And now that I'm doing the review stuff, it's really interesting because I get to find out how good or not it really is. Do I say anything else at the beginning of these?
I just open the damn box.
What? What? With all the echo going around.
Just open the box.
I just wonder how well
What's in the box?
Watch it be 7. That's the other reason I'm like hoping you'll be a little bit louder because
I don't. Horror or a thriller?
It's really more. It's a horror in the same way that The Silence of the Lambs would be considered horror, but it's really more of a thriller. Okay. Though, you know, it's still pretty good. So, oh, and then they always say, that's what I forgot. They always send you one exclusive that you can't get anywhere else, at least at the time of shipping, at least in the States or whatever, and they number them and everything. And the last time, they actually had really great box art. We'll see if that continues. The movie itself...
Was that the zombie Bong?
Bong of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Bong Joon-un. No, that's not his name. All right, my dear. Hopefully... Yeah, it's never the top or the bottom. Go ahead and pull one. I got worried that you'd pull the exclusive first. We try to move that to the end.
All right, we've got Insidious. It's not the house that's haunted. From the makers of Paranormal Activity and director James Wan and writer Lee Whannell.
It's Australian.
Most terrifying film since The Exorcist. Okay, so
now we do have this in our collection, but I have not actually seen this. So, you know, I guess it counts as a duplicate. All the horror stuff's pretty much coming over to my house.
Oh, you want me to read?
Oh, you're supposed to. Did you show the back first? I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention. That's why I asked, and I'm so out of practice. Yes, ma'am. Please read the description.
From the makers of Paranormal Activity, Insidious is the terrifying story of a family who, shortly after moving, discovers that dark spirits have possessed their home and that their son has inexplicably fallen into a coma. Trying to escape the haunting and save their son, they move again only to realize that it was not their house that was haunted. Special features include Horror 101, the exclusive seminar, on set with Insidious and Insidious entities. And then according to Entertainment Weekly, Insidious has some of the most shivery and indelible images I've seen in any horror film in decades.
Cool. Sorry, I was just watching the levels meter, and even when I'm talking like this, I'm still like a good 10 decibels louder than you. Hopefully it's okay.
I am soft-spoken.
I don't know, I was looking for a joke, I can't find one. But yeah, again, and I will apologize because this is a whole new setup. I don't know. Hopefully the audio is playing out okay. So bear with me, and I'm sorry to give her crap for it, but...
I'm just waiting for a turn. I was like, I was way too loud.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
No, because I'm watching. I have it set for my voice. I'm peaking at 12, and then I use a compressor and a limiter, and I post it up higher. But you're at best peaking around 20, and occasionally I'm seeing you mumble around 36, which is a huge volume difference. It's
Wait a minute,
fine.
So the smaller the number, the
Yes, yeah.
louder you are?
Zero is digital absolute loudest. You go over
So
digital
weird.
and you start clipping. Yeah. Hey, audio 101. And every 6 decibels is a doubling in volume.
Okay.
So, just so you know. But I have always wanted to see this. Lee Whannell and James Wan are awesome. James Wan did the original Saw. Lee Whannell did 2 and 3. Lee Whannell did Upgraded. Is it Upgraded? Upgrade. And a whole bunch of other stuff. He's a fantastic director. I've been wanting to watch these films forever. And now I have to because I have a copy. I guess I will not open this one and I'll have to go borrow Dad's, or not borrow Dad's, it's our movie collection. But like I said, all the horror stuff's coming over here because he doesn't care about the horror stuff so much. Oh, that's right, I'm waiting for the trailer. We're almost done through the trailer. I try to leave 3 minutes for the trailer. I think Lynn Shay is in this? Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, just notice where it says on the picture there, one of his eyes says help.
Ah. Yeah, Lynn Shay is in this. Oh, Patrick Wilson. So is this part of the Conjuring universe? I'm so confused with the Conjuring universe.
Is Patrick Wilson one of the Wilson brothers?
No, he's not Owen or Luke. Luke?
I think that sounds right.
No, I know it's Owen Wilson. Is it Luke Wilson? Yeah, I think you're right. Okay.
I wasn't sure if there was 3 of them.
Not as far as I know, but you know the way Hollywood works? It's very, very possible. I do not know.
There's like
PG-13.
Oh, is it? Wait a minute, which Chris is it?
Evans? No.
Thor.
Hemsworth. Yeah.
So there's like, what, 3 of them?
I know 2, Liam and Chris, but I think you're right. I think there's another. Is there Patrick? No, I'm thinking Patrick Schwarzenegger. I don't know. Hollywood's weird, and that was more than 3 minutes. Let's see the next movie. Before I forget, I'll take care of it. I have to pull this, and then I gotta flip it because the exclusive's in between these 3, but I'll flip it. All right. Let's see what do we get. Let's see if it's one I don't have, and oh, it's a double feature. I definitely have one of these. I don't know if I have the other. Are these sequels? They feel like they could be sequels. Now I'm gonna turn this over, so the last one that comes out is the
I think Legion might be the
exclusive.
sequel to Priest.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like it, but I don't know that Priest ever got a sequel because it doesn't seem good enough. Well, now we have to talk double as long because it's just, it's 5 movies I have to.
Wait a minute, so you think Priest is a sequel to something else?
No, I'm saying, is Legion a sequel to Priest? But I'm pretty sure it's not.
The way you phrase it, you sound like both of them were sequels.
I don't know, it's good wine.
Are these sequels?
Did I say these?
Yes, you
I've
did.
had good wine. Here is the back of the box. Oh boy, we gotta show 2 trailers in here.
Okay, from a distance, the lead guy in Priest looks kind of like Tom Hanks.
It's Paul Bettany. Vision.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Priest. In a post-apocalyptic world, a savage war between man and vampire has raged for centuries. A warrior priest, Paul Bettany, receives word of fresh attacks, but now it's personal. His niece has been kidnapped by a new hive of merciless vampires. To save her, he must break his vow of peace and hunt down the hive before it's too late. Based on the acclaimed graphic novel and packed with bloodthirsty action, this full-throttle crusade takes you on the hunt for a deadly new breed of killer.
Okay, wait a minute. He's a warrior priest, but he's took a vow of peace. That does that mean you're no longer a warrior priest? That sounds not thought through.
I don't know, but I remember this actually being pretty decent, and I think this is one you could actually handle. I think you'd be into checking this out.
I think that's more like action-y, like a Lego type thing.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna have you watch this with me. I have the 3D Blu Ray, but we don't currently have a 3D TV set up anywhere, so I don't know what to do about that. We can watch in 2D, it'll be fine. But yeah, I think you would like that. You might like Legion too. I vaguely remember seeing that. We'll get to that one in just a second. I'm gonna leave some time for the trailers to run.
I vaguely remember seeing trailers for that, but I don't really remember anything about it.
Okay, and if you saw the front of this box like I showed you, you can see why I thought maybe these were sequels temporarily.
Sequel? You
I did say sequels. I see it. I see what you said now. Okay.
You're so confusing. Use your words correctly.
I'm sorry, I used to be better at saying words right. Then I started moving into this house and my brain is overloaded with things to think about. But let's see, this is 87 minutes.
Salvation is what they're calling this.
Okay, the Double Salvation 2-pack. I can see that. And it is Paul Bettany and Legion as well, so it's also a Paul Bettany double feature, but I'm almost positive, yeah, these are not sequels. So that's pretty cool. Was it 9:30 or 10:30? I think it was 10:30, so I should probably leave like another minute. But so that's unrated too, and it was PG-13 for theaters. I recently watched like a review on Priest, and I think they were basically saying like it's actually better than you remember it being, but it does suffer from being a PG-13 film. Like it would have been, if they really had gone for it, it would have been something much more beloved. And it felt like studio interference cutting it down. Also, both of these films are directed by the same guy. Scott Stewart directed both of them. That's interesting. Huh.
Well, Legion's at least rated R.
Yeah, not that means it's any better, but I vaguely remember Legion. That's gotta be enough time, right? All right, if not, I'll cut the trailer short. So now let's talk about Legion.
Well, the trailer's like
90 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, if you don't know, I always try to leave about 3 minutes for the trailer to play so I can get copyright claimed and not make any money on the horror pack video. But that's okay. That's why you join my Patreon, where I review lots of movies over there. By the way, if you like the reviews that I'm doing, I should tell you, if you like the reviews that I'm doing in this horror pack thing, I do a similar thing, only a little bit longer, a little bit more expanded on my Patreon.
Maybe you should do this spiel while you're killing time for the next clip.
But I wouldn't see my face while I beg for their money because this house is so expensive.
Yeah, I am trying to be efficient.
No, I know.
So this video isn't way longer than it needs to be.
It's fine. People enjoy us. People enjoy us. That's what they're here for. All right, I'll do it. At a remote desert truck stop, the fate of the world will be decided. Evil's armies are amassing. Armed and united by the Archangel Michael, Paul Bettany, the Da Vinci Code, and Iron Man 2.
And Priest.
Yeah. A group of strangers becomes unwitting soldiers on the front lines of the apocalypse. Their mission? Protect a waitress and her sacred unborn child from the relentless, bloody siege of the demonic Legion. Also starring Dennis Quaid, not the crazy one, G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra and Vantage Point, and Tyrese Gibson, Transformers and Fast and Furious, I think, and Lucas Black of Jarhead. No one remembers Lucas Black, unless you're Lucas Black. I'm sorry, that was mean, I shouldn't have said that. Okay, so this one is 100 minutes. It is rated R, as Mary said. There's no special features on either of these. It does look like there's some similarities in some of the people producing and stuff, so that's pretty cool.
I'm wondering if they crammed them both onto one DVD.
Blu Ray.
Or Blu Ray.
Yeah, that's fine. You can fit, there's no special features or anything. It's definitely, it's one disc. Yeah, it's one disc. It could be a dual layer or something, or a double-sided, I should say. But I think that actually will be a pretty good double feature. You could probably handle both of these, quite honestly, if you're interested.
Probably.
I mean, it's strong, bloody violence, but I don't remember it. It looks more like it's gonna be like bullety violence. It's not horror. It's not like slasher, stab, gutting kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's probably not body horror. I really do not like body horror.
Right, which reminds me, I really want to watch The Beach House on Shudder. By the time you see this, I've probably seen that and reviewed it on Patreon. So, body horror. Let's see. So we're almost 2 minutes into this, but yeah, what was I telling? Oh, on Patreon, because I do 3 movie reviews a week, and often they're majority horror films. Not always. After you've seen this, I will have reviewed things like The Monkey King, or maybe even that whole trilogy, because Mary's making me watch them, and I don't mind because it's pretty cool. We might watch part 2 tonight, as a matter of fact. If I shut up and get these videos done in time.
Yeah.
Actually, we will watch part 2 tonight. If I shut up and get these videos done in time, we might also watch Batman versus Ninja Turtles.
So did you flip this over?
I did, so you're gonna be safe pulling that first one in about 20 more seconds. You got anything you wanna tell them? What horror movies you watched lately?
That bloody bastards.
Blood-sucking bastards. I watched Yummy on Shudder the other day. That was awesome, awesome. I was exhausted, and it was like 2 in the morning that I started it, and it's somewhat English, it's somewhat subtitled, so I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna crash throughout this. I was wide-eyed through the whole thing.
What was it called?
Yummy. It's a Danish, I wanna say, Danish and Flemish zombie, kind of campy, awesome zombie film.
Okay.
In like a plastic surgery hospital thing. It's great. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, Mary, pull the next title. Is it something I don't have, please? Oh, it's a great movie, but I have
Belko
it.
Experiment, which I kind of, this falls into the category of movie of I want you to watch and then tell me all about it.
I've seen it. I can tell you all about it. I love it. You aren't gonna watch it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, just tell me what happens, and so here we go. Welcome to Belko Industries, a normally calm workplace that's about to devolve into a blood-soaked battle royale and a shocking case study of bone-crunching horror. When 80 American employees are suddenly locked in their office building in Bogota, Colombia, a mysterious voice on the intercom orders them to participate in a ruthless game of kill or be killed. As the terror escalates, so does the body count. Now everyone is a competitor, and everyday objects become deadly weapons. Let the corporate carnage commence!
Woo! Ding, ding, ding.
A bloody
satirical.
Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't get that to him. A bloody satirical slaughterfest, says Chris Alexander of Coming Soon. Blu Ray. Blu Ray special features, rules of the game, the secrets behind the Belko Experiment, Lee Hardcastle survival tips, and deleted scenes and gallery. I'm gonna guess that's what's his
Michael
face?
Rooker.
Thank you.
Yeah, because what they have not told you is this is produced. Is it written as well? It's definitely produced by, and yes, written by James motherfucking Gunn, who I absolutely freaking adore. I've loved him. I luckily enough, I'm a big Trauma guy, so I've known about James Gunn since Romeo and Juliet. So I've literally followed his whole career, and I absolutely adore him. And I love this movie. I think it's awesome. It's great. It's what it is. It makes a great double feature with Joe Lynch's Mayhem, which they just did on Joe Bob Briggs' Last Drive-In recently. But because they're very kind of similar movies, very, they have their own styles and tones. Yeah. But I think those go really, really well together.
This is a movie where I already know it's going to be a thing of creative kills to a certain degree because you're having to use everyday objects. Yeah,
I do think this one was a bit more of the creative kills, whereas Mayhem is a bit more character-based than this one. Mm-hmm. They're both character-based, they both have their creative kills and stuff, but I mean, they're not necessarily apples and oranges, but they are their own movies. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I just really enjoyed them both.
I'm just like, I'm pretty sure I don't want to watch this and be like, okay, just tell me, like, is it just one guy at the end, or is a group of them kind of out with the system, or?
Well, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but there's more going on than all of that. It does unfold a very interesting story, so there is that. But what's the other thing I recently? Is it? No, I was gonna make some comparisons to Escape Room, but no. So that's a great movie. This is already, we still have the exclusive to go, but this is already a great horror pack for most people. Yeah. It's a bummer for me because I own every one of these.
Oh, you have Priest and Legion too?
Yeah, I own all of these.
Okay.
However,
well, she'll have the special edition thing.
I wish I was better about sending out, like, doing prizes, because it would be great to just be like, well, hey, my loss is your gain, but considering how many years I'm behind on some of those Drunken Movie Night prize packs, which are finally gonna get sent out because they're getting moved over here soon and they ain't staying here, I got nowhere to put them. So there's that. But you know what, these are easier to ship because you just mailer, print.
Yeah.
I don't know, no promises, but anyways, we got one more movie and I'm guaranteed not to have it, or at least not to have this version of it.
True.
And now we're gonna find out if the box art is any good as well, so. What are you hoping for, Mary? What movie do you think this will be?
I don't know.
I know, I couldn't do that either if you asked me. Anyways, we got Cruel Will. Oh, Doug Jones is in this. I think Doug Jones is kind of just in whatever.
The tall, skinny guy?
Yeah,
okay.
Star Trek and a whole bunch of stuff. He's in that movie Mike was working for. Oof. The art, y'all. The art. Oof. And even the front is just poorly printed. It has that, like, low resolution printing thing going on.
Yeah.
But hey, at least it's a movie I know nothing about. We're gonna watch Cruel Will. Let me do this so we can show you the stuff here. So there's that. And you should have paused. So here we go. Oh, that box art. All right. Tragedy strikes married couple Lily and Paul when her father dies. Lily brings home the urn, housing her father's cremated remains, forcing Paul to, on a daily basis, face his despised father-in-law. Good pizza. Soon after, the lid of the urn mysteriously disappears up Paul's butt. No. And Paul begins to experience unearthly events, which, like a twisted joke, only he can see.
Okay, sounds kind of lame.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great. Oh, is that? Okay, what do I know him from? It's not Martian Manhunter, but that is one of those guys who's in all the TV shows kind of guys.
Yeah. Oh, crap.
Spencer Garrett, I'm betting, is him, or Harry Lennox. I don't know. What do you think about that? This is 85 minutes. It is 2013. There are no special features. It is really poorly designed box art. It's also poorly...
I looked it up on my phone.
No.
It's across the room.
Oh. And this is horror pack number 48. Hopefully this is one of those that's better than it appears to be, but this does not give me a lot of hope. But you know what? Like I always like to say, I forgot to look at when we started talking. But like I always
We're
like...
on camera right now?
Yeah. We're doing a trailer. You can go, I'm looking at your butt. We can... no matter, well, of course, all that like thumping is, I don't know. I know, but again, I'm not used to the hard, it's not you, it's the hardwood floors and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's right, I don't have an isolator under that mic because I'm not used to it. I'm digressing. Any film made that gets released and distributed is a win. That is worth celebrating no matter how good or bad the film is. So I will totally give them credit for that. Hopefully this is pretty cool. It does look like it's at least got some, really competent cinematography from what I can tell. But again, this just tells me that maybe last month the horror pack box art was designed by the creators and submitted, not designed by the horror pack team. So I guess it is 50-50. And whoever does the horror pack designing, hire me. I tell you what.
That is apparently the movie poster.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm just saying it's very, not the front, yeah. But it's just very low resolution. You can tell in the way this cover is printed.
Yeah.
But listen, I will do your exclusive monthly box art for the back for the cost of you just shipping me the box for free. If anybody from Horror Pack is listening.
It's Harry Lennox.
Okay, Harry Lennox. What has he been in? See what I know him from. But that's what I'm offering because I'm tired of complaining about how weak the back box art is. That said, I know you're not gonna listen to me and that's fine. Because I got plenty to do anyways. I'm making food videos for lots of money now.
He's very much that guy who was in that episode.
In everything, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, like there's not a single, there's titles we recognize, but there's not like a single like, oh, that's what I'm thinking of seeing him in. Wait, was he in Man of Steel? Oh, yeah, he's the general. Swanzik, I guess?
Yeah, Swan.
So he technically, that's why I was thinking Martian Manhunter. Not because of the CW universe, but because in the Snyderverse, theoretically, he was going to be Martian Manhunter. So yeah. So look, I was totally on point with that. Yep, General Swanzik. Sweet.
I didn't actually push on that.
You good?
Yeah.
I think the trailer might be over.
Okay.
I don't know. All right, so there's Horror Pack this month. One movie I've not seen. One I'm very happy to revisit. Two I'm curious to revisit. And one I've not seen that I've been anxious to see. And now I will definitely have to get around to seeing it and watching the sequel as well. And again, I guess now's the time on Sprockets when we review the movies. All right, so I just watched Insidious and I loved it. I don't know why I didn't watch this sooner, quite honestly. I knew it was something I was gonna like. I thought it was gonna be more of a just kind of typical ghost story, which in a lot of ways it kind of is, but in a good way. Of course, directed by James Wan. That's always a fantastic thing. But what I really like about this, and this is not spoilery, I'm pretty sure this is in descriptions, I like how it kind of does a poltergeisty, possession-y kind of film, but instead of it being like super religious and based on things like that, they really base it in kind of like more science, a more sciencey explanation of how this is happening, which is really nice and really creepy. There are some legitimately creepy moments in here, like just really get under your skin and kind of freak you out, especially if you're watching in a big house all by yourself late at night. And some fantastic jump scares in here. I kind of had to swaddle myself in a blanket so I could stop flailing when things would just scare the crap out of me. And some of that imagery is definitely going to stick with me for a long time. Darth Maul, because I keep thinking Darth Maul, I don't know, but it's still kind of cool. The ending is good. and again, without getting spoilery, it's almost though it's a little bit underwhelming. It's not underwhelming. It's just mildly unsatisfying in the sense that I want more, I guess. But there are like 3 sequels, so I should get more. It does end a little abruptly, and also too, kind of like the big climactic thing doesn't quite reach the heights of insanity that you kind of feel like it's building to. It gets up there. It just doesn't quite go as far as I thought it would. But ultimately, I can see why this got like 3 more sequels, and I'm definitely excited to watch them, and I will do that, and then I'll probably review them on Patreon. But yeah, Insidious, man, that was a real good time. Mary might have been able to watch this, although this might be the kind of thing that really sticks in her craw, because I mean, even I'm now like I'm worried I'm going to see shadows and think it's somebody, even though I'm not generally that kind of dude. But yeah, great time with this one. So we just watched Priest. I have things to say.
He keeps saying that. I have no idea what he's
I'm gonna forget them all too. The wine was good. What do you got? What do you think, Mary? What did you think of Priest?
I enjoyed it. It had Carl Urban in it.
Yeah, that's super. And remember, no spoilers here, by the way. So that'll help keep it brief too. But of course, Carl Urban always makes everything better. He's a great seasoning dad. Paul Bettany's really good.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the cast is pretty good. Christopher Plummer, but go ahead.
There's a lot of not casting, like
hashtag
not.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bill from
Bill Compton.
Bill Compton's in here as Bill Compton. That's pretty cool. But here, let's see if you get this reference. The sheriff character, though, the boyfriend sheriff, who seems like he should have been a movie star, but I don't think he's ever really in anything of any consequence ever again.
He looks like Jake, Suki's brother from...
kind of. Who had a baby with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
But you remember and this is no spoilers for The Mandalorian, but you remember in The Mandalorian, there was that one episode.
The young bounty hunter?
Yeah. Like, everybody in that show is great, except that one character. Like, he's just really off-putting.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I got with the sheriff character in this. It's just like, every scene he's in, I'm like, ugh. Oh.
I didn't get that from him.
I did. I don't know what it was. It just bothered me, but I definitely see some of the problems with this probably would have been more rockin' as an R-rated movie if you really got into like uber violence and gore. Could have been a little more interesting. It's a little middle of the road the way it kind of handles some of that stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
It's also like 2 a.m. Also, I feel like they've actually built a great world.
Yeah.
Based on the graphic novel and everything, the idea of Priest, the central city, city one.
You haven't actually read the novels.
No, I have not.
I haven't either.
I haven't either, but I'm saying like the world building feels like it's probably pretty authentic. And maybe even these characterizations are authentic. Mm-hmm. But I feel like plot-wise is kind of a middle of the road, typical, we've seen it 1,000 times plot. Like, I love in the beginning of this movie, they set up like this...
there's only so many plots in the world.
Yeah, but I feel like this is the wrong one for this movie then. Because this feels a little too single villain narrative kind of thing where, like, I would have liked to have actually seen, like, they set up a horde fight, or like a horde of vampires in the beginning.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen, I guess this is mildly spoilery, I would have loved to have seen, like, a horde fight. Like, you never really see them have to survive an actual horde of vampires.
Well, that would probably
and get their, like asses ripped.
Movie.
Yeah, but that's what I needed here. Like, don't save the great stuff for later. Do the great stuff and make a great movie and then come up with... I mean, again, maybe I'm being nitpicky, but...
Well, there's always the...
Because honestly, by the time we get...
If you're wondering where I'm staring off to, the menu is
still
playing, and
I just didn't want to...
distracted.
I like shooting with the menu behind me usually lately, but I don't want to stand up right now because of the massive boner. But... I mean, it is 90 minutes too, and again, I think the point I'm getting at is, and this ties into the pace. Like, it's a fine pace. It's not boring. It moves for sure. Yeah. But I almost feel like this is one of those things where they did so much world building that it should have been longer. Because by the time we get to what the end fight is and everything, I honestly kind of had to look at my watch and I'm like, wait, we're at the end of the movie. I feel like we should go somewhere much more epic with this because they really set up an epic world.
Yeah, but I think it was the whole case of we're hoping we get a sequel, so we're just going to do the table setting now.
Maybe, but also this was like early 2000s or something. I don't know that was as prevalent a mindset, but
true.
Maybe. It does suffer a little bit from a bit of that Zack Snyder grayness through the film.
Yeah.
A little bit as we're rewatching the scenes.
I think what you said earlier was Zack Snyder does Blade Runner.
Yeah, it has that visual sensibility to it. Paul Bettany is great in this. I did really love him in this. I loved him as this character. I would have watched more of that. But yeah, I just feel like it could have gotten a little more epic than it was. Because then also I think, and then the other thing is, this is almost like Priest 2, because they kind of give you the whole Priest like world building thing in an opening sequence that's animated. And I'd watch a 90-minute version of that animated. Like,
yeah,
that would have been 100 times cooler than this movie. And the movie's not terrible, but.
And actually, given how violent that animated sequence was, it's like, so because it's animated, we cannot have the R rating. But if we did this as a actual anime thing, it would be R rated.
Yeah, pretty much. But
the logic doesn't.
Trust me, it's like Bruce Campbell said: you can kiss a boob, but you can't shoot a boob. It's weird, and the rules are weird. But that pretty much, I think that's good enough for Priest.
Yeah.
Man, these reviews this month are long. I've had a lot to say about a lot of these movies.
This isn't like some of our half-hour reviews, man.
No, I know, but I mean, compared to like when we started the first time we did horror pack reviews, they were like 2 minutes a thing. I've been doing like 5, 6, 7 minutes on each one of these.
Oh.
All right, next movie. Okay, we just watched Legion. Hey, look, I gave myself a haircut before you'll see the hair grow again real quick. So first things, I just got to point this out real quick about Legion, that immediately, opening sequence was great, and then we get to our lead character. It's the fucking dude from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. How did he ever get another acting job after that?
Is he really a lead character?
That's why I said lead character. Listen, I'm going to warn you right now. We're probably going to get a little bit spoilery on this one.
I feel this is more of an ensemble.
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of billing and shit. And also, I should also say it's late. We had some drinks. We had some fun.
I'm sober.
Well, yeah, but you had drinks earlier. We had some fun ripping into this movie a little bit in a way that it probably doesn't deserve. We did say at the end to ourselves, like, listen, if you want to be into this movie, you can be into this movie, and it's totally enjoyable. But we kind of had fun shitting on it a little more than we should have.
Real easy.
They did make it real easy. Plus, it's 10 years ago. But that said, let's do some. You want to do some positives? Then we'll get into the shit, because I don't want to just start with the shitting.
Go ahead.
Cinematography. Top notch. Pacing is fine, never gets boring. Music and everything, average. Visual effects are good. Most of the cast is excellent. Paul Bettany is fantastic.
Now, is this the same director as Priest?
Oh, God, why'd you ask me that now? I can't look it up. I don't think so. Oh, God. I have the Priest IMDb.
Is that,
Oh, the case is way over there. Plus, this is going to hurt my arm if we take too long, so I'm trying to...
Do you want me to look it up?
You look that up while I do the rest of the good stuff.
Okay.
Most of the cast is really good. Adrian Palicki, am I saying it right?
Palicki, I think.
Palicki. Oh man, you. Okay.
Well, you didn't have it on anything.
No, I had it open, but you know how like then you click Google and it goes back to the search and not your last search. So, anyways,
how about I look up on my fucking phone. What are you doing?
Trying to make you look cute so they don't look like you're seriously mad at me, because they don't understand us sometimes. Adrian Palicki, whatever, from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was really good in it. Dennis Quaid's really good in it. Charles S. Dutton's really good in it. Tyrese Gibson is really good in the fact that he's Tyrese Gibson all the time. Thea Queen / young Avril Lavigne is really good in it.
Scott Stewart directed Priest.
So is that the same guy that directed Legion?
I thought you knew this.
No, I don't.
You know, like, all the fucking directors.
No, when I was 18, then I stopped paying attention. Doug Jones was great in this for his, 2 seconds that Mary remembered from the trailer.
Stewart, yeah, same director for both.
Same director as Priest. Okay, this is better than Priest. And Priest wasn't bad, but this was better than Priest. I think my biggest problem with this is it's rated R, but it feels almost PG-13 to the sense that even when you set up some things that could be really gruesome and just juicy and gross, they really just
Apparently, I covered my eyes a few times for no reason.
Yeah, because I was like, really? That was weak. And I think, honestly, if they had really gored this up, if they really went for a hard R with this movie, this could have been a cult classic amongst horror fans and like gore fans, and it would have been in the class of From Dusk Till Dawn and Feast. But you can tell they feel like they were trying to mainstream it a little bit too much.
Spoiler free on this?
I wouldn't totally spoil it, but I said we'd be a little spoiler on this one.
Why this is rated R, and I think the only thing
there's some drops of blood.
Well, I'm
some
thinking
bubbling
about the kid.
pustules. But even that, like, you don't see. I think you see like one person actually have bullet hits. Like, even with all like the shooting of the crowds,
his thumb's cut off.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's the kind of spoilers we're going to give you here. We're not going to tell you the movie, but. Yeah, and I guess like stitching the wing wounds, which is like in the first 2 minutes. But again, it's like
PG. That was very PG.
That's what I'm saying. It feels very PG, and they could have gotten away with this being R. And now I'm like, wait, was this PG-13? But it should have been R. It's clearly. Oh gosh, she's going back for it.
I've got pulled up on IMDb. So
the other thing is, oh my god, the Terminator vibes.
Yes, very much so.
Because I was even joking about Terminator references long before we realized they were clearly doing some Terminator riffs on this. There's some.
What the fuck's the rating on here?
I don't know where they do ratings on IMDb. Here, just ask it what it's rated. Here, just go to Google search and hey, what's
I hate talking to my phone sometimes, especially when
here. Just turn. I'll do it. What was the movie Legion rated?
R.
Rated R. For ridiculous. Okay, so now Mary can jump into the review. I still have plenty to say, and it's already 5 minutes. Oh my god! I knew this was going to be a long one.
I like the stuff. I like and I hate at the same time because it looks like they actually put some effort into like world building with the angels. But
yeah,
you really learn nothing.
And I'm with her. I even said that near the end. It's like, there's some things about those that I want to know a lot more about how all that works. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's just like, okay, what's with all the writing and
right?
What's with the collar?
Metal wings, the cool weapons. Why is Elon Musk in this movie? It's not Elon Musk. It's not Lee Pace either. Shit, I already forgot his name.
Not thickly paced.
Yeah, there was a lot of hashtag nots in this movie too, because even Thea Queen, I'm like, it's not Scarlet Witch.
Hey, it's not Megan Fox.
Yeah, it's not. Well, that's the other thing I was going to mention, because in the beginning, at least the first 20 minutes of this, it feels like it was written to be a Michael Bay film. It wasn't filmed like one, but you could almost see it being filmed like one, and it would feel like a Michael Bay film. Just some of the way and I'm not shitting on Michael Bay movies. I like them. I'm just saying it had that vibe, so that was kind of crazy. Then there's shit like people going outside and seeing things, like giant fucking world-ending things in the distance and being shocked to death almost by it, and then not telling anybody about it. Just no mention of it.
There's storms. There's two storms coming from two completely different. Oh, that can't be good.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not going to tell anybody for 20 minutes.
My car.
Right, exactly. Yeah. This was a weird sequel to the Fast and Furious franchise. I mean, especially with Tyrese being in there as well. That's freaking crazy. Is it Tyrese? Yeah, it's Tyrese in Fast and Furious. I know he's Transformer, or maybe he's not Transformer.
Well, there's a few black.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Singer types.
Is he a singer? He's a model. He was a model. I don't think he was a singer.
I'm pretty sure he was also a singer.
Back to the phone we go. And I know what you mean. There's a kind of archetype that happens in casting. I think we're incorrect though there, my dear. I think Tyrese is pretty much all the people we're thinking about. And we just think it's different people when it's really always him. There's a very obvious granny whole thing in here.
Oh, yes.
They like to do a little Evil Deading. I'm sorry, I'm trying to let her search this because people have already searched, was he a model? So I'm telling you, that's where you should have gone. But
Tyrese, that's him, yeah?
But maybe he did music after being a model. I think he was a model first. I don't know.
I remember him being on MTV, so...
Yeah, for being sexy, because he's fucking awesome. I like Tyrese. I mean, he's always the same character. He's always Tyrese Gibson in these things. But he's enjoyable as fuck to watch.
See, it's great if you can make a career on just being yourself.
God, there's so much more I want to say about this movie. And this is a record for Horror Pack reviews.
And I just watching this movie though, it's like, oh, hi, Joseph. To, the main character's Mary.
Jeep. His name was Jeep.
His name
Because
was
at one
Jeep.
point, Mary's like, oh, what's Jeep gonna do about this? And I was like, the car? How is the car company? What? And she had to remind me that's the main character. She's like, would you rather I call him Joseph? I'm like, yes, please. Because clearly, I don't even know my religious stories that much, but that's clearly, who he's meant to
You want
be.
me to hold it for a little while?
No, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I was going to say, I did say near the end of this too, this feels like one of those movies we need to go back to our old school reviews where we do the no spoiler video and the spoiler video because we had so much to say. But this is like almost 10 minutes just for this one review. Holy shit.
Oh, I think we goofed off for a good front portion of it.
Yeah, we did. Hey, what's up, people? Not bad for my second ever self-given haircut, quarantine style.
Just don't look at the back.
Ouch! Should I? Now I'm worried. Are you saying that because I said that? Or are you saying that?
We'll talk later.
In all fairness. Oh! God damn it. I love you too. Oh, really?
Oh, wait. I thought you were being sweet.
Well, I'd be sweet off camera. I'm looking for validation now. Like, don't leave them hanging. Let them know you love me. Goddamn. That's the only way I can get kisses is if I tell her, like, you got to show the YouTube trolls.
Oh, God.
I'm going to go get that gopher. Don't tickle my nipple. Jeez.
Tickling your chest, but...
Yeah, but you got my nipple. And you know you like to get my nipple. Let's just play with the camera angle. What's up? That's some good wine and some good pizza and some good video games and some good vodka tonight, Mary. And you know what?
What?
Before we end this, even though there's one more review after this or two more, I don't know how many.
Yeah.
Let me do a 3-second Mary horror story. You have to move in 5 days. We're gonna get copyright claimed anyways. Mary's playing Tyrese's singing. He's a model. So I just rewatched the Belko Experiment. What a wonderful time I had with it. In the most terrifying of horrible times. This is one of those reasons. It's 6 a.m. by the way. It's late. I've been drinking. But it's one of those reasons that it's amazing to get to rewatch these things. Even if Horror Pack sends me something I have, just randomly being like, oh, I need to watch the Belko Experiment. Yeah. Listen, it's not even just James Gunn. I talked about it in the unboxing that James Gunn, huge deal to me, huge fan here. But just the way this movie works, like again, the scripting, the plotting, the way things flow are incredible. And at the same time, the direction is incredible. The performances are incredible, the gore is incredible, the tension is incredible. I think the biggest takeaway for me on this viewing of this film is how when your life changes over time, you can reappreciate works of cinema, storytelling and stuff like that. Because, I had a certain perspective seeing this the first time. I loved it. I had a very different perspective this time. I can almost relate more to it because I've gotten to a place in my life when I first saw this, Mary and I weren't a thing. Now that we are, it's way more relatable. I don't know that it just hit me that way this time. But also, I totally understand it. Like, not understand it like, you gotta kill people, but in a way that it's the perfect what would you do movie. A lot of what we love about horror films, I'm speaking in generalities, is you get the sense to put yourself into a film and be like, what would I do? This is a horrible situation. What would I do? I don't know, man. And I can't really fault many people's choices in this. And I think that's part of why the writing is so brilliant, is everything is like really top notch. Yeah, that's how those kind of people would react. Again, the era and the time I'm watching it now versus when I watched it before is even more politically divisive than it was back then. Not necessarily the movie, but I'm just saying life in general, which makes the movie's political message be even more astute than it maybe came across before. Again, completely speaking in my own personal experiences with this work of art, because that's what art and film and cinema is. Oh my God, I could just go on forever about this. Like, seriously though, the gore is top notch. Just the experience, the immersion, the pacing, the editing, the cinematography, the play on your expectations of things, and even just that idea that a lot of we had hit, before this film came out, or around the time it came out, we had hit an era of cliched expectations in horror cinema. There's so many tropes, and again, it's one of the beautiful things about horror and probably all cinematic genres and formats is it goes through cycles, and stereotypes start to happen, tropes start to happen, and then comes along that subversion. And maybe there's a little something subverting it before, something that subverts it even better after, but there's always that one thing that subverts it just right at the right moment in time that it needs it, and that's this. But it's more than that, because again, this has been a very interesting experience. I've experienced this film on a very different level than I did the first time. I loved it on the first time. Maybe it's my expectations, my excitement about James Gunn, Sean Gunn being in it, Michael Rooker, those kind of expectations. Things are different. They play differently, which is beautiful, because over time, as life goes on, as things change, and right now, like, we're in an era, if you're really into it, Sean Gunn, James Gunn, Michael Rooker. But 10, 20, 30 years from now, which this movie will still be relevant, people don't know those reputations, those expectations, and it still totally works on that level. I could just gush and gush and gush, especially after having so much to drink, and it's being, not so much to drink, but so much to drink after, and it's like 6 a.m, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm only on like the second drink. But this is great. If you haven't seen it, see it. Great double feature with Mayhem. I'd probably go Mayhem then Belko if you want to go fun to dark. If you want to go dark to fun, I'd go Belko then Mayhem. They're both dark, they're both fun, but just that's my experience with these films, at least in 2020. So we'll see where it goes. I'm sure I'll watch this again in the future. Maybe I'll review it, so right on. All right, long reviews, what the hell? Okay, so Cruel Will was cruel to sit through. No, I'm sorry. Okay, it wasn't that bad. I had to go for the joke. I shouldn't start off with, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but it had a lot of good stuff to it. There's a lot of potential, I think, is the thing. I'm more frustrated with this film because it feels like had there been maybe a second pass, one more pass at the script. It didn't feel like it was undercooked. It feels like maybe just could have figured out a little bit more a tone you really wanted to go for. And then the director, though I see a lot of potential in, I think there's a lot of faults in this. I don't know if it's a first film or not, but it's definitely lacking some performance direction in certain areas, which also leads to my biggest problem with this. And then we'll get into the positives. There are positives. My biggest problem with this is the lead actor, the character you follow most through this film, is really, really not suited for this kind of movie or this role. He does not pull off this performance well at all, to the point where there are scenes with other amazing actors that you can tell this actor is dragging down. Not to an extreme extent, but enough where it's like, because everything else this person has done in this movie or otherwise, and I'm not just talking about the guy from Superman, but like a lot of the actors in this are really, really good. There are two glaring omissions, one being the lead, the other being the lead's best friend. What was happening there? That said, there is one other major negative I have to bring up before we get to the good stuff, because there is good stuff, I promise. The major negative, the thing that really made this just dig, like I'm going with it, I'm trying to enjoy it, I get over the acting issue, but the score is so mind-numbingly dull and repetitive. I'm sorry, this is the biggest fault of this film. There are, I think, like literally, or at least 3 reused over and over 4-note melodies, and it's all pretty much just basic, simple, one piano kind of stuff, and it's so undercooked and so underdone, and for you super horror fans, you remember when they did the extended edition of Night of the Living Dead, and listen, Jack Russo and Schreiner and them, they did all that, Bill Heinzman, and it's interesting for what it is, but no matter what, if you liked that or didn't like that or how you felt about it, I think we all agreed how awful the new score in that version of that movie was, because it was just pretty much a piano. This is 10 times worse. 10 times worse than that. And that's not to harp on the Night of the Living Dead stuff, like Jack and Russ are good buddies of mine. But that said, the good things about this, the cinematography is excellent, especially for a lower budget film. The pacing and the editing overall, there's a couple of moments, particularly early, where it feels like, oh, they feel like we have to cut down the time and they didn't take the real transitional time they needed to move from certain emotional beats to the next. Just one or two kind of real standout things. Everything else, I think, flowed pretty well. So I'm gonna give it that. Cinematography was really good. Again, most of the cast of this are really, really good, but you can tell they're thrown into a low budget position where they don't get enough time to really work it out or probably rehearse with each other. You can also tell that, again, a couple of actors in this bring down certain performances of theirs. It's harder to work with an actor, and you can tell they're really making that actor look as good as they can, but it's just, it's not working out too well. And then there's also some stuff where, like I said, going back to the director, you can tell, like, that's where, as a performance director or a director of performance, you would look at that and be like, well, I mean, I see where you're going, but let's go this way with it, or you need to be coming at it from this emotional beat, blah, 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 blah. Overall, I mean, it's all right. It's not something I can really recommend. I don't hate that I watched it. I don't feel like I wasted my time. It's something I get to know I've seen, and because I do like supporting indie films like this. But really, I think the score really is the biggest fault of this film. Conceptually, it's pretty cool. Doug Jones is cool. There's a little bit of makeup that's pretty cool. There is no spoilers, but there is actually a super late in the game, super last minute kind of twist on this that actually is really brilliant. And I almost feel like they probably got some of these actors for reading the script and they're like, the script's pretty good. And then they read that last bit and they're like, oh, okay, this is great. I gotta be a part of it. And then it was just, again, not poorly handled by a director, but maybe not as well handled as that director will hopefully learn. If the director is good at doing this, they'll look at that and they're like, oh, they'll see 1,000 more mistakes than I will, and they'll learn from those and hopefully correct a couple hundred of them next time. That's just how it goes. But geez, this is a long review. That's my thoughts on Cruel Will. I gotta go, I'm drinking some wine and then I'm gonna go to vodka, but I gotta go watch Belko Experiment again. Woo!
We are here to pump you up! Because I made the Sprockets joke.
Anywho.
That's Horror Pack for June 2020. What did y'all think? Which of these is your favorite movie? Have you seen them all? How do you feel about the box art? Are you gonna check out my Patreon for as little as $1 a month? No pressure, no worries, but I'm just saying it's there if you wanna look up the Eric Butts. Use the links in the description below, because I don't make any money on these Horror Pack videos. Somebody inevitably, there's no Scream Factory, so maybe I won't. I'm less likely to get claimed this time. But because I show you all the trailers, so what are you gonna do? All right, but let us know, geek out with us in the comments. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Other than that, you can click that thumbs up button, give us that good old thumb of encouragement, as we do love to be encouraged. And we will get through this. We will get through this together, especially with wine. And yeah, I guess we're gonna get out of here and go open up some more stuff, and we'll see you all later.